Good evening, everyone who joined us in this live show. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to host the event. A special thanks to Infinity Sports owner Mr. Sumanta Ghosh and Silguri United Football Club's president Mr. Onimis Lama for giving me this opportunity to host this show. I am Michelle Tobden Karthak from Goalie 365 Facebook page, and today's host. I would like to welcome all our guests today, Mr. Shelton Jackson, Mr. Nul Alam, and Mr. Ranjit Bajaj. So first of all, we'll play the video from
Everyone has been saying we defied odds to win India's top football league in just our second season.
Punjab is back on the map of Indian football. Minera Punjab have won the Hero I League.
We competed against clubs who were 120 years old, with 20 times the budget, with a fan base which was 1 million times ours. We overcame all these challenges by sheer will, determination, and a team going beyond their duty in each sense of the word.
They have been obsessed with winning.
Warrior Diaries is a series which will take you through the ups and downs of each and every one of our players, of our management, of our coaching staff, and also all the people who work behind the scenes but you never knew that they were there, without which a football club will never run. And you'll probably also get to see the place where I hide all my dangerous snakes. Everyone has been saying we defied odds to win India's.
So first of all, today we have Mr. Shelton Nixon, ex-Bengaluru FC under-19 player, who represented Karnataka state football team in the 2017 and 18 Santosh Trophy, and right now he's playing for Bonipur FC. So welcome to the live show, Mr. Shelton.
Thank you. A very good evening to one and all present here.
And secondly, we have Mr. Nur Alam, who is also a UEFA B licensed coach and Scottish FA C licensed. He was part of Indian Football Association's academy in the year 2015 to 2016 and Sports Authority of India in the year 2017 to 2019. And right now he is playing for Jadavpur University's men's football team. So I would like to welcome Mr. Nur Alam in this live show. And lastly, we have Mr. Ranjit Bajaj. I know everyone knows him by the connection he had with Punjab's football. He's also the founder of Minerva Punjab FC, presently the owner of Round Glass Punjab FC. And in his stint as the founder of Minerva Punjab, he also won the I-League Championship. During his stint of the founder of Minerva Punjab. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Ranjit Bajaj once again.
Thank you so much, Marshall. And hi, Sheldon. Good to see you here, bro. And
Thank you, sir.
You here as well. Even though I can't see you right now, your screen is blank. So not broadcast. New owners of Punjab FC. I've got Minerva Academy and Delhi FC. And
Yes, sir.
also AFCAI, which is Association of Football Clubs and Academies in India. So thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.
So without further ado, we get back to the main debate. As the debate's name says, on the 15th of August, we celebrated our Independence Day. but have we really got it? Is the main topic for today's discussion. First of all, I'd like to ask Mr. Ranjit Bajaj few questions regarding the Indian women's teams. Recently got the chance to play in the AFC Champions Cup, but they couldn't do anything because they were diagnosed with COVID. So, what do you have take on this regarding this issue?
See, I think it was one of the most shameful moments. Like being a host is one of the proudest moments. And if host is the only one which is affected by COVID, then it becomes one of the most shameful moments, because we were the only ones who were. See, the host body is member association is responsible for the safekeep, and the host is responsible, not AFC. And if you say that no, the teams were responsible, then we are the only team which has got the cases. If we wouldn't have had these cases, we would have played with Philippines, and I'm telling you, we had a great chance of going through. If we would have made the semi-finals, probably our independence from football would have come much sooner, because that's what Indians are looking for. One side which can get into the World Cup. Doesn't matter men's or women's. And the women had a chance this time. They had a serious chance. And that showed, because we beaten a team like Chinese Taipei, and they drew with Philippines, the eventual winners, who went through to semi-finals. And maybe, we would have done really proud to us in semi-finals as well. So unless you shoot, like in football, you say, and children knows this, unless you shoot, you don't score. But unless you are there, you don't even shoot. And that's what happened with us. Unfortunately, for something which has got nothing to do with the girls. So who do you blame? The management, the administration. And when I say management, I don't mean the team management. They were just put up where they were given the orders. So if they are put up in a hotel which is not safe, because all the other teams were put up in a different hotel, and they were three teams or two teams staying together. India was the only team which selected a hotel totally outside that area and was staying there. I don't know what the reasons for that was. And it really, really lost us a great opportunity.
So, what would be the next step? Because it was one of the few chances to qualify for the World Cup. What would be the next step?
See, if I was in charge, the first thing I would have done was get out a statement, not saying that let's not point any fingers. I would say let's point fingers, because this is a chance where we'll have to learn to live with COVID for the rest of our lives. Understand, it's not going to go away anywhere. So what happens if this happens again? We have to learn. We only learn from our mistakes. You can't say don't point fingers, because unless we point fingers, we are never going to get to the bottom of it. And unless we get to the bottom of it, we can't ensure it's never going to happen again. First, so there has to be a proper inquiry of what happened. It's not a small thing. It's not just this tournament. Understand? Olympics is not every 4 years. It's every single day. So each and every one of those girls had been preparing for this tournament every single day for all their lives. Not till this, because this was the biggest tournament they would have ever played. And this could have made their lives. Like all the boys who played for India in the Under-17 World Cup, because they were Indian and they were on TV, even though we didn't do that well, all of them have great careers now, because they got the exposure. These girls would have become household names. That would have done what? Not for these girls. That would have brought a generational change, because fathers and mothers would have seen that girls are becoming household names by playing football. And that's what would have been the major achievement of ever hosting a cup. So we've hosted this, and there's going to be nothing which will come out of it. In fact, we would have gone back another 10 years, because I would want them to have announced that Indian Women's League will happen immediately. But they announced that the Indian I-League will start now. So Indian Women's League was cancelled last year also. And they've been cancelled last year also. So we need more and more game time for the women, because we are this far. With men, we are this far. Women, we are this far. So we need to give them all the support we can, not take the support away. And that's what we're doing to women. We are treating them in a very stepmotherly fashion.
So, was it the right decision to cancel all the Indian matches, or could they have got to any other solution?
See, if the rules beforehand say that you can't put up 13 players and you forfeit one match, that means you forfeit others. The rules are the same for everyone. AFC has not come up with these rules overnight. These rules very well are known to all the teams before they participate. So if you know these rules that even one match you miss, that means you're out for the tournament. That means you have to be extra careful, and you have to make sure your bio bubbles are even stricter. See, if it was a thing now when out of 16 teams, 3 teams had it, or 2 teams had it, or 4 teams had it, you would have understood. Out of 16 teams, if you are the only team which has been affected in this manner, that means there has been lack of supervision of the security of the bubble. Simple. Because the disease doesn't come from anywhere, it comes from only uh, eh, people who can connect to them, and that can be found out. So, yes, unfortunately, it had to be cancelled because that's what the rules say. It's not AFC's fault at all. So the coach will obviously blame AFC. Why? Because he wants his job, man. And if he speaks against AIFF, he will be fired. Simple as that.
So, what do you think that women's football got the potential? Indian women's team
Potential
yes, sir.
is mind-boggling. Why? Because imagine without, see, you are giving them 1/10 the support, 1/100 the support you're giving men. There is no league,
sir.
there are no state leagues, there are no nationals, there are no junior leagues. Still, we are ranked 55th in the world. Okay, imagine if you
sir.
give them all the support you give men and have a structure for them, even what you have for the men, which is pathetic, but you still have that. Imagine you think the women will not get in top 32, they'll get in like this. Within 3-4 years, they'll be in the World Cup. Men will take 15 years, women can do it in 4 years. We could have done it this time.
Yes, sir. So we have Nur Alam here. He was not there when I introduced him. So welcome again, Nur.
Thank you so much, and I'm extremely sorry for the technical glitch that I went through. Yes,
sir.
hopefully that will not be the case in the future. Thank you.
So Nur, I just wanted to ask one few more questions to you. What is the major drawbacks of Indian football you can compare to European and Latin American football?
Okay, so the major actually there are not one difference. There are quite a few differences that that has come in my eyes. So firstly, I think see the previous in 2018 or 2019, AFF had a strategic plan from 2019 to 2022, where they have issued a statement, or they have issued a you can say a PDF, a book, where they have noted down each and everything that they want to do in the near future. But I went through that. I went through that today as well. I could not get to what they had really done. So they have pointed out that they want to do, but whether they have done it or not, I'm not sure of. For example, let's say they have written down that they want to make everything more competition oriented. But you see you see the national youth leagues that we used to have, the Hero Sub Junior League, the Hero Junior League, the Hero Elite League. For the previous 3 years, from 2019-2020 itself, when the league got cancelled because of the COVID, after that there was nothing for the youth. So what is happening? There is a vacuum of players who are not getting any competitive matches. In Europe, or more or less in Latin America or in US as well, what happens from the age of 8 to 18, players get a minimum of 350 matches. So for 10 years, they get 350 competitive matches against the best of opponents. They get the best of training facilities, infrastructure, and everything. And then after that, they become a pro player. In India, I don't know if anyone can. In India, I don't know if anyone can literally come up and say that, yes, from the age of 8 to 18 or before the age of 18, I had even 200 competitive matches. I'm not sure of that. So the thing is, every youth player needs minimum 35 matches or 30 matches or minimum 25 matches per season. In India, is this the case? No. So who is responsible for that? Of course, we coaches, we at the clubs can give them some friendly matches, but it is the association who needs to put up a league or a competition or a I don't think I don't think this year AFF has even issued any academy accreditation process yet. But I don't know. I'm not sure whether they will be putting up in the near future or not, because I don't see any movement from their side. So until and unless we focus on these particular things, we cannot grow, because this is something that has a huge that will put a huge impact on the youth. We cannot learn football intelligence only through training. We need to give competitive matches to the players. Now let's come. We just talked about women's football. If we talk about women's football, there is absolutely no competition matches, no tournaments, no leagues, nothing for the women's players. So not at the youth level, even at the senior level, we hardly have any matches because the leagues get cancelled. So if we compare a women's player in India and a women's player in USA, there has to have a huge difference, because if we even take that, yes, they are training with the best infrastructure, best facilities, best under best coaches, but yet we are lacking the number of matches that they need to develop that football IQ or football intelligence, what we call. So yeah, this is something that I believe is a major drawback that Indian football is having right now. Also, I feel we need to create a coach education system in which there will be more coaches, because we need more coaches. As simple as that. If we don't have coaches, we will not have players. If we don't have good coaches, we will not have good players. So we have to make sure that the number of coaches that we have in India increases. For example, if I'm not wrong, in India there are around there are less than 1,800 continental licensed coaches. So FC, CBA or Pro. In Japan, I'm taking the example of an Asian country only, not of a European or a Latin American country. I'm taking the example of an Asian country. In Japan, they have 1,900 goalkeeping coaches only who hold a continental license. So there is the difference that we have. And all in India, why will the coaches do the coaching badges? Why will the coaches go for the coaching badges? There is a huge cost behind it. So if we do not give employment to those coaches, if we don't increase the number of clubs that we have, if we don't increase the opportunities that we give to the coaches, they will not be willing to spend that money and earn their coaching badges. So this is very much AFF is doing to increase the number of coaches that we have in India, but sadly the number of opportunities that the coaches have in India is very less still, because the number of academies are very less, and we need to increase that opportunities for the coaches. So these are the two major differences that I feel, or you can say the drawbacks that Indian football is having. There are many more as well. So if I go on talking about it, it will go long and long. But these two are, I think, the main differences that I feel right now we need to focus on.
Okay, on the same topic, I would like to ask Mr. Ranjit Bajaj. On the same topic, I would like to ask, why don't we see any Indian football players in top leagues of the world?
First of all, I totally agree with Noor when he says that the coaching. So we don't play in the top leagues because of the coaching. Simple as that. As he says that they're only 1,800, I think Japan has over 10,000 A license coaches. And India, the numbers are pathetic. We are in hundreds. And if you do, what did Belgium do? Belgium started a revolution in coaching, and they made over 5,000 B licenses within 3-4 years. And every school teacher there, why? Because it was just 500 euros. So every school teacher there was a B license. Every school or every athletics coach was a B license. Even they from other sport, they used to do CB and get there. So even from school levels, the kind of basics which were taught to the kids was so great that the entire generation became so great that now they're world number one. Now, like Noor said, the coaching education, I think he's hit the nail on the head. We need to make sure there are hundreds and thousands of more coaches, because the numbers in India, when you talk about, unless you have quality coaches, you'll never have quality players. And when, especially at the ages of, like he said, 8. So when he says about 350 matches, that's a great number. Let me take it even further. 10,000 hours is what you need, according to studies, for making sure you perfect a movement. And when you took that into practice sessions, that can only happen if you are in a residential academy. How many residential academies are there in India who start at the age of 6, where world academies do? 0, except us. There's only one. So I'm not trying to show off that we are the only ones. I'm trying to say that we need 100 clubs or academies like us. And when we have that, then we increase the pool of players. Because see, no matter me or anyone else who opens one academy, or earlier there used to be Tata Football Academy, they can only keep a certain number of boys. That's it. And then when you from there you try to produce international stars, you don't do anything, because then there will be national level. Same way, when you only used to have Tata Football Academy, they used to have only those selected few. Then imagine India mein kitne bande hain. Then you need to have competition in every, like Noor said again, competition in every state. So now when they say that the Indian team is not doing well, it's not an Indian team. It's a team made of 8 states in India. So the Northeast, and then probably Goa, probably Maharashtra, Karnataka, Punjab, and that's about it. Because that's where football really happens. And that also doesn't happen in a great way. It just happens, okay? So you have a pool of players. Uttar Pradesh, which has a population of 24 crores, has great players, but has no platform. So you never come to know. Same way, 70 crore population of this country has no platform. The 70 crore which has, only the ones living in the metros have the platform, or the big cities. So you're not getting, when you say you select a team, on top of that, you only select a team in the ISL, which is only 30 players. Why 30 players? Because till last year, there were only 4 Indians playing in every team, and one was a goalkeeper, so 3 Indians into 10 teams is 30 players. So anyone who used to get game time used to be called for the national camp. And then you should select players from there. So that is why our team, so it's not that our performance has gone down. The pool of players now we are selecting from is now decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. Now, what will happen, like Noor said, the 3 generations, when I say 3 generations, for 3 years, junior leagues have not happened. There are 3 generations which have gone. For example, if I'm 17 and I'm now 20 and I've not had any football, I'm dead. If I'm 15 and I'm now 18, I've not had any football, I'm dead as a player. Simple as that. There is no other way. So now if I'm a footballer at 17 and I'm really good, that means athletically I'm very good. You think I'll sit at home, or will I go join another game? I'll join the game which gives me respect and gives me platform to show my skills and talent. Why should I keep waiting for football? That is why Mahendra Singh Dhoni became a cricketer. He was a goalkeeper, being honest with you. If he had found a world-class academy, probably Mahendra Singh Dhoni would have been the Indian national team goalkeeper. I'm just giving an example. Leander Paes, winger, striker. And he still says, my first love is football, and tennis was an accidental game. So see the number of people you are sending away to other games in the last just 3 years. And for women, it's always been like this. So imagine if you start giving facilities. Now, all you need to do is make it a rule that every state association, if you want to vote for the president, you need to minimum have a state league, you need to have sub-junior, junior nationals, and you need to make sure women and men. That's all. Because the only job of an association, only job, is to give competition. That's platform. And the only job of AIFF is to give national competition. And that is where they both have been lacking. Their jobs are not to host international tournaments. Their jobs are to give opportunities and platforms to our kids to play and our coaches to become better. See, education, when they say this government has come up with RTE, right to education, because they think it's a right. And who enforces that right? That means everybody gets free education, our government. So who's the government of football? The national body. Who should make sure that football education is so affordable that anyone can get into it? Now, the kind of money which it takes to get an A license or a B license, like Noor has done, it's cheaper and it's better. Because if you do a UEFA license, I'm giving you an example. If a coach comes to me and he's done an AFC or an India A or B or C, and a coach comes to me who's done a UEFA B and C, I will give the job to the UEFA B and C any day. And it's actually cheaper for them to do it that way. So what are they doing? And then the number of coaching educators in India, instructors, has stayed the same level for the last 10 years. We've had 1 or 2. That's it. In a country like 1.4 billion people, you need the number of A license coaches there are. You need those many educators. That means the ones who can go and do courses. Do you know there's been no A license course in India for the last 3, 4, 5 years? So all the ones who stuck in B license are stuck in B license. Or they have a choice, go spend 20 lakhs outside India and do it. So what do? They're stuck in the same way. So what do their families say? You've been stuck in the same salary for 10 years. Better than this, but go do something else because you. So we are losing the best of the best in footballers, in women footballers, in coaches, because nobody is going to keep waiting, man. The world is passing you by. If you don't send your entry for futsal, Nepal did, and Afghanistan did, and Maldives did. So they will be this ahead of us. We have to now catch up to Afghanistan, Maldives, and Nepal because they'll be taking part in the Asian Cup, and we didn't send our entry. This is the job of the National Federation. And if they lack in this, there is nothing else they need to do. And on top of that, now they've sold all their rights and everything else to FSDL. So they have nothing on their plate. This is the least they can do. At least focus on coaches' education. If you do that, I'm not kidding. If you focus on coaches' education, 90% of your battle is won.
Coming back to futsal, sir, why do you think AIFF didn't send Delhi FC, who was the futsal champions, to World Cup futsal tournament? Why do you think they didn't send?
See, before even Delhi FC comes into the picture, Delhi FC is a club and they didn't send, okay, they didn't send. Why didn't they send India's entry to the Asian Cup? What's the point of having a National Futsal League and you don't send India's entry to the Asian Cup? And then you say it's COVID, but that's the same thing for Nepal. Nepal did it, Maldives did it, Afghanistan, a country which is run by the Taliban. Okay, they send their entry, man. But you thought it's not important to send your entry. Now you understand what you've done. Now I'll tell you how you've taken the game back. You had a National Futsal League, and you had the Futsal League. Why? Because you had already not had futsal in India for the last 20 years, when the futsal had taken over the world. So a new Futsal League came up in 2016-17 in Kerala when all the great players came, and you banned it. Because you thought that, no, this is our property. Okay, fine, it's your property, then do something about it. It took you 4 years to organize a Futsal League. When you did that, you thought there'll be nobody participating. You had tremendous response. In fact, you had 4,000 players participating in all the state leagues, 19 states doing it, 14 states making it to the final round. You paid nothing to those teams to come and play. But they still made the effort, spent from their pockets, came all the way, played. And normally, the national champion goes for representing AFC in every country. Now, these boys are not normal, except one is not a normal professional footballer. They play as a hobby. Why? Not because they want to play it as a hobby. They have fucking menial jobs. So if you ask a footballer, would you rather do a menial job or do you want to make a career making the same money in playing futsal? It's his dream come true. He wished he had it earlier. And you've taken that opportunity not only away from them, but suppose these boys had gone and done well. Now they say, oh, India will not do well. No, futsal is the only sport more than football that India can do well. Because in futsal, you cannot be touched. You touch somebody, foul somebody, you get a penalty. So physicality goes out of the picture, man. That's where this bade, and we don't care jitne marji bade hue. Then on top of that, speed. Itni si jagah hai. So speed doesn't matter as long as you keep shape. So this is one game in which Asian countries will do very well, and I was proven right when Iran won the World Cup. And not only that, there were 5 countries last year in Lithuania. The World Cup happened 2021. There were 5 countries from Asia who qualified. All 5 made the knockout rounds, man. A country like Uzbekistan or Thailand or Vietnam have done exceedingly well in the World Cups or even in the Asian Cups. And now look at Vietnam. Vietnam's futsal drive started 10 years ago. And Vietnam yesterday beat China 3-1, and they're in the final round of the World Cup qualifiers, and they will qualify for the World Cup. And the average age of their team is 21 and a half. And how they do it? They spent money on an Academy of Center of Excellence, again like what Noor was saying, which they were supposed to, and they didn't do. Now, those boys, in 2010, Vietnam's national team lost to us 3-1. Sunil Chhetri hat-trick. In 10 years, if they play, mark my words, if they play India today, Vietnam will beat India 6-0, 7-0, more than a thrashing than UAE. Why? Because they concentrated and spent money on the youth. And they gave them a structure. Now, they won the under-16s AFC. They won the under-19s AFC. They were in the final of the under-23. And now they've almost qualified for the World Cup. And it's happened in 10 years, man. So it's not Roxy. What I'm doing is not rocket science. It's just making sure from the age of 6, you give a structure to a kid, make him do exactly the same thing every single day, morning till night. Simple. You do that for 10 years, you will produce world stars. Simple as that. There's no rocket science. And you'll see us, because we've started now. Within 5 years, I have been able to get 2 boys in the top 60 Guardian's World Best Footballers list, which had never happened because they've never used to look at India. And these boys have never even been outside India and done something, just with the standard of quality of their football. So it's just a matter of time. But because it's a single person doing it, or 2 people doing it, or 3 people doing it, if the National Federation does what we are doing, what I am doing, we'll get there in 10 years. If you wait for one person to do it, it's not that we're not going to get there. We'll get there. We'll get there in 20 years or 15 years. Because then it's just matter of making sure that you keep working and hoping for the best.
So, sir, I would like to ask both Mr. Noor and Mr. Ranjit Bajaj, how much do you think that grassroots development is important for Indian football? First of all, I would like to hear from Mr. Noor.
How much important, if you ask me, I will say it's the most important one. So if we don't see every successful footballing nation, they had the model, the football model that they had developed over the years, and then they had put it into action. So you take any top footballing countries, they have invested hugely on the grassroots, and it's not only about the monetary investment. It's about their time, it's about their efforts, it's about everything. So it's very much today, if you don't scout a player at the age of 8, suppose you scout a player at the age of 15, and then there is, suppose, England, who has scouted a player at the age of 8, there is a 7-year difference that the player from England is having from India. So of course he is going to be a better player in any day. We talked about Ranjit sir talked about Vietnam. So they have put a very good plan and invested heavily on the grassroots and youth. And today they are getting the results after 10 years. And so we have to start right from grassroots, from at the age of 7, 8, 9, 10. So when you scout a player, you identify that player, you identify that yes, he has the potential. You nurture the talent, you develop the talent, you give the proper guidance, proper support under the best of the facilities, best of the infrastructure. And then that player is is going to be a pro, or is going to be a top level player. So when that player will represent India internationally, he is going to be against the best of players from the other countries as well. So he has to be the best in India, and he also has to be better than the best in other countries. So it's as simple as that. You have to start early. You have to start as soon as possible, and you have to put every planning you have. See, Ranjit sir is giving a very good plan. AFF needs to put that into action. AFF also knows the plan. Why are they not putting that into actions? So they have to have to work now. It's enough we are calling ourselves sleeping giants. It's time to wake up. As simple as it. It's time to wake up, and we won't be able to wake up. The players, the coaches, or any or the fans, or anyone in this country will not be able to wake up until and unless the top stakeholders, the federation, the national federation, wakes up. So it's very much simple. We have to speed up the process. We have to speed up the actions that that we have thought of, and because the pace in which the other footballing countries are developing, we will go very below. We will go very below, because countries like Vietnam, and there will be more countries in future will be coming up. So if we don't speed up our process, we will just go downward. So it's very important that this is the time that we have a plan, we put that into action, and we invest heavily on grassroots and youth.
Mr. Ranjit, sir, what do you think, sir?
I totally agree again. See, they have been, I don't know, see, that they understand football very well. But what's happened is the plan was going right till some time. And if the plan had stayed on the track of from 2010, we would have been at a very fast stage, because they had planned to have 8 centers of excellence all over India. And if they had actually done that, and then they made from 8 to they made it 4 centers of excellence, and then from 4 they've just made it 1, and 1 they put it in Calcutta, which does not require a center of excellence, man. That's the last place which requires it, because football is already so developed there. It would have been great. So, but when ISL came in, what happened was the entire focus was only on ISL, and it's not AFF, FSDL. They say F Football Sports Development Limited. They were supposed to develop the entire game, not just them. Not unless you have a strong, even if you call I League the second division, unless you have a strong second division, you can't have a strong first division. But that's how it goes. Unless you have a strong third division, you can't have a strong second division. And then unless you have that, why do you think so many ISL clubs have been shutting down? Why do you think the thing is not sustainable yet? Because the football is not reaching the masses. How will it reach the masses? When you actually start having state leagues, then every person in that fucking country will be connected to it, man. When you go down to the masses, means every district should have a state league. Then those district clubs should go and qualify. Now, where do you have to spend money? Grassroots. Grassroots means not just having grassroots and this 1 in a million and having baby leagues. No, have how does you learn from the best. How does BCCI do it? Every state and every district's best boys are sent to the state center. Every state center sends its best boys to the regional center. Every regional center sends their best boys to the NCA. That is why no one ever asks when is the next Tendulkar coming from, or Virat Kohli coming from. We have hundreds of those. Not because of anything else, except our grassroots in cricket is so strong. The same in hockey. And okay, give you an example why we are so tired. Because we are football. We live, eat, breathe, sleep football, and it's in our blood. And even if we want, we can't get it out. So for a kid to change, it's okay. But somebody who's got his entire life, and it's not, we can't just overnight fall in love with another game. But when we look at other games, then we feel really bad. For example, we feel proud to be an Indian, but we feel bad for our game. For example, you name one game where India has not been world standard in the last 10 years. That's how much we've grown. You call tennis, okay, we won Grand Slams. Done. Okay, you saw women's and men's, okay, both. Then talk about shooting, talk about athletics, Neeraj Chopra just done it. Talk about boxing, world champions, wrestling, world champions, weightlifting, world champions, badminton, world champions, table tennis, now we're doing really well in TT with the new boys coming in. So you name a sport and we've done really well in it. Hockey, beating Germany and beating Netherlands in the best players. So why is it only in football? So it can't be because the players are not good enough. Because then it's in our genes, then we wouldn't be world champions in other sports. If the only thing lacking in India is football's development, then there is something wrong the way the game is being done. And the sooner we wake up, the better, because we are now going and drawing with countries like Sri Lanka, who are ranked 205, which is the last in the world. So they are progressing. It's not that we are going down. They are progressing, being able to draw with India, and we are going down. The countries we were able to beat 6-7-0 10 years ago are now able to draw with us. So it's a very slippery slope, because all they had to. So you don't require billions of dollars to spend on grassroots. That's why people have a problem. You require billions of dollars to make a great league like the ISL. So that's what Sri Lanka is not doing, Nepal is not doing, Afghanistan is not doing. They have a few $1 million where they're spending it on grassroots. And they will get results faster than the billions we are spending. Because we are spending it all on top, it doesn't reach the top. So we have a major problem. And when they say change the president of AIF's president is not the one responsible, because he's been got there by the state associations. Every state association is the problem. When a state association is not going to be doing its job properly, we can never have national level players. So every state association has to take it on himself to make sure that they are doing the job. And if the state affairs are not doing the job, then it is the priority of all the clubs and members there to change the state association. Then we'll have a change at the top, and probably the grassroots and everywhere else.
So today we have also have Mr. Shelton Nixon, player of Baunipur FC, who is also the son of Louis Nixon, ex-Indian national team player. So, but Shelton didn't use his father's influence to join and ask for clubs. With his determination and hard work, he have joined. He was recruited by Bangalore FC. Then he got the chance to represent Karnataka state football team. Right now he's with Baunipur FC. So this one question for Mr. Shilton. What do you believe is the greatest challenge most footballers are facing today?
First of all, thank you. I think, footballers these days are facing is with their mental health, because mentally you have to be strong. If a player comes and tells another player, say, hey, you know what, you're not doing great, he shouldn't be demotivated. So he has to be motivated and, give his not just 50, not just 100, but more than 100% in whatever he's doing, off the pitch, on the pitch. I feel that is the, main focus that players should concentrate on. And as you said that, the influence part, people talk, always people talk, it's very easy for people to talk. But when we are on the pitch, we know what it is. Like Ranjit sir spoke about the grassroots. I feel if the grassroots is stronger, therefore the whole of football becomes stronger. That's what I feel, basically. Say, like European countries, like kids start off with 5 to 6 years of age. Why can't we do it? Say we open a school, a sports school for all these kids, keep these kids for say 15 years or 10 or 12. Why can't we, produce world-class players then? We can. I'm 100% sure we can. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Shelton, any qualities you believe an effective coach must have?
I don't feel anything, man. Like as Noor and Ranjit sir said, coaches have to, like he just told the Vietnam and, the coaches and everything. I think we should increase the coaches. And as Noor said, the license are expensive and that is why they go abroad. And not everyone can afford it, but yeah, I feel coaches should come into play because they play a major role in football.
So coming back to Indian football, I'd like to ask Mr. Nur Alam, why is the AIFF strategies and lacking in to develop Indian football right now?
So I believe they had got the plan. They had the plan, but they are not doing enough to put that plan into action. So as I said, the strategies that they have that they have in mind, that they have put into their plan. I think I think each and everything they need to look again, rethink that, and put that into action. So you see, if AIFF can be, I will tell this as careless. If AIFF can be careless enough to allegedly forget to send India's entry to the Futsal Asian Cup, then you can think that something is wrong. Something is wrong, because कोई तो यूं ही तो भूल नहीं सकता ना इंडिया के एंट्री भेजने में. ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता ना कि मैं भूल गया इंडिया के एंट्री भेजने. So this is very much I don't know how this can happen. So you have to understand that there is something wrong in the upper house that needs to be fixed. So, and it is like the sooner we fix this, the better it is for Indian football.
Do you think the Indian government should interfere in this matter and for the development of Indian football? Any points?
See, lately Indian government is supporting football, is coming up with new plans for the stadiums. Just like a few days back, there was a proposed plan to make a stadium in Ladakh, if I'm not wrong. So from the government, I think we are getting support, but if we are not, if the federation who is there to execute that, if they are not doing it, then it is very much unlikely that the plans or the investment that we are getting from the government will be ever put into put into the best into the best needs for the footballing culture or the footballing ecosystem or footballing environment of the country.
So, I would like to ask Mr. Ranjit Bajaj, are the top teams depending on Minerva to scout for them?
See, again, that's again a very big thing, because I really, when I say this, that I'm killing my own business. But the point is, if Indian football needs to go higher, then they need to be looking at a lot of other places than Minerva. Because if they have only one academy to look at, then that means there is again something very, very wrong. Because again, making players, developing players is not rocket science. All they need is a structure. They need to be given a platform and opportunity to play. And not only from ages once they become professional, they can only become professional if they get that at a younger age. So because we are doing that, we are known as the factory. Again, not only we, anyone who does that will be known as the factory, because again, it's a conveyor belt. So you have players training in a structure like that, you will produce players. So that is why I believe that India can do it very fast, because what I'm doing is, I'm not a genius. It's not rocket science. It's been done all over the world and it's very simple. And AFF can do it. And not only AFF, if all the ISL clubs actually spend 5% of the total they spend on just their academies, they will produce 20% of their players of their first team. So they'll actually save money in the long run. but they don't look at the long run. And when I say long run, I'm talking about just 5 years down the line, they'll start saving money. But they want all clubs, including even Mohun Bagan and East Bengal, they want immediate success, and all big clubs want it. So for that, if they have 5 crores, they rather go spend 5 crores on Roy Krishna than 4 crores on a player lesser and spend 1 crore in your academy. Because then your academy will be able to produce 1 Roy Krishna every year. For example, we saw Kian. Kian is a product of their academy. Same way, Shubha Ghosh, who won the Shubha Paul, the boy who won the Mohun Bagan League for them. Again, now imagine if they had actually focused on it. What has happened? Only good academy in Bengal, which was there for juniors, Sale Mohun Bagan Academy, has shut down. The only other good academy in India other than Minerva was Tata Football Academy, the Holy Grail, shut down. Since ISL has come, Tata Football Academy has produced 0 international players. Because all their budget has been taken away by Jamshedpur Juniors. Is Jamshedpur Juniors doing well? No, they are not. So it's not that they are doing well and that's why. No, they're not doing well at all. They're not even qualifying from their local leagues. So when you are shutting down your grassroots to promote the Upper, then your Upper wala will also die. Because it's not sustainable. Because after some time, the players will not be there. Where will you go and buy players from? Because Minerva can only give you so many. And if you have now 20 clubs playing in the top league, then if you buy them all from us, then the standard will drop. You have to have, if you have 100 Minervas, means not my Minervas, 100 clubs like us, academies like us, then look at the pool of players you have. Just imagine if you make it compulsory, like you made it compulsory for every club to have an under 13, under 15, under 18 to get accreditation to play in the I-League or ISL. If you make it that 10% or 20% of your match day squad has to be produced from your academy, they will have to spend money on their academies. Yes, we will make a lot less money because all my players will go. But that's the way for Indian football to go. Because we need every club to be doing this.
So as we have North Bengal's got so many good players right now, but they are lacking to play in the national level right now. There were only 4 players from North Bengal around the Darjeeling district and Kalimpong district to play in the Calcutta Football League. Why do you think that the North Bengal players are lacking behind to show their talents in the national level? So,
Why it's the platform? They don't have a platform. See, you'll get a lot of players from Calcutta getting through because they have so many clubs and so many platforms. So if they play well, they will be noticed. So even if you play well in the 6th division, 5th division, a 4th division club will notice you. And if you're really, really good at 2nd division, then you can move up. So they are all scouts over there. But if no matter how good you are, but you are very, very good in your village, and there's no place for you people to come and scout. You see, when you are 10, 11, 12, 13, you don't know anything about anything. You don't know that you need to be scouted to be a football player and you need to go there. But if that scout, you have a thing in your school or in your village that a football scout is coming, you'll go and give trials there. But if it means that you have to go every time there's a trial for anything, not only in Calcutta, I'm talking about every state, you have to go to the national or the state capital to do it. That's where, again, that keep on saying our platform, the number of boys pool is so less. Why? Because if I'm a father, and normal Indian, maximum to maximum, a normal average Indian will not be earning more than 500 to 700 rupees a day. Now, to travel from that city to the capital to give a trial, it will cost you 500 rupees minimum. If you stay there, it will cost you another 500 for you, 500 for the son. Then to come back, 500. So you spend 2,000 and some. Everybody now is taking trial fees, man. They made a business out of it. We're the only ones who never take a trial fees. So you pay 500 rupees trial fees. 2,500 rupees you've spent. Which father in India will, then he has also taken 2 days leave from his work where he's earning 700 rupees a day. So which father in India will be willing to spend 5,000 rupees on a 10, 9, 8, 7, 11-year-old just because he wants to? Or that will be probably a father who's played football in his life and he wants his son to be a footballer. Anyone whose father not played football, doesn't know anything, he will not know that there's a trial happening or something happening. So that boy would have been lost. So how many boys are we losing every day? Millions and millions. And it's so easy now. It's so easy to be able to. Earlier, it used to be difficult. Now it's so easy to get to every corner of India. You can get to every corner of India. And the only people see, I can't do it on my own. I'm trying, but again, you know how, if you're a continent, man, we got 10 Europes in here. That's why we need AIFF and the state FAs to pick up. And if they don't, then you can't keep on saying that we're not reaching the World Cup. We've got to wake up and say that, okay, fine, if we really want to see India in the World Cup, we got to do something about it. And what do? So even every little small effort counts. So if you are making sure that you are helping a junior academy grow, that's great. If you are making sure you're putting pressure on your state FA, that's great. If you are a 14-year-old and all you can do is go and support us on social media and the causes, that's great as well. But make an effort, because now is the time. Because everyone, the entire world, because see, earlier you could say that, okay, fine, doesn't matter, Sri Lanka will never reach there, we've got time, Bhutan will never reach. But no, they will. They'll go ahead of India. Doesn't matter, India is 1.4 billion, because you don't require population. You require 11 good players. That's it. Bhutan can have them, so can Vietnam, so can Sri Lanka, so did Iceland, who has a population of 3 lakhs.
So, one more question, sir. What do you think that a player like Shelton Nixon get to play for your team?
Oh, Shelton is most welcome to come, and once his Bhawanipur contract is over. So we now look, see, I totally believe that football has now become a very physical game and it's more about athleticism than if you are an athlete. Just having skill will not do. So that is something with which every player, doesn't matter what talent or skill you have, can be worked on, and leave the rest to us. So I tell this to all the people who are there. So you reach a certain level on your yo-yo test, and then you get an open tryout with our senior team, and that just makes sure that we are there. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, last question to everyone. It's about Infinite Sports. What are you thinking about Infinite Sports' role in youth development and also grassroots and vision? First of all, I'd like to hear from Shelton.
Infinity Sports is actually doing amazing for youths. As we've been, we are talking about the grassroots level and the youth level. Infinity Sports have been conducting a lot of trials as well, not just at one particular state, but different various states as well. So as you said, we will get a lot of talents, not just from one state, but from around the state. And this will be, this can be formed as one team. And I'm pretty sure that in a couple of years, I'm sure we will, Infinity Sports will produce not just for India, but I'm sure these players will represent and they will, be the stars of Indian, and they will make the Indian, qualify for the World Cup as well. That's what I wish for. So I feel Infinity Sports is doing amazing, and it's as Bajaj sir said, for selections nowadays we have to pay and go. So it's become a business nowadays. So Infinity Sports never does that. So it is for free of cost. It's for all the players who are welcomed, and it's a great platform for everyone, I would say.
Noor, same question.
Yeah, so before going to this, I would like to add to a point which Ranjit sir has said. So it's about the width and breadth of the country. We cannot give an excuse that India is a huge country, because if we go to USA, suppose if you go to US Soccer, I'm a proud member of United Soccer Coaches and United Soccer Coaches ASEAN and Pacific Islander Advocacy Group. So I have many known people there, and I know how sustainable football model US is having right now. Their men's team, their women's team, both are developing at a huge pace, and they were able to take soccer into each and every part of the country. So it's never so no one can say that it's because the huge width and breadth of the country. Coming to Infinity Sports, I feel Infinity Sports is able to bridge the gap between talent and platform. So what happens, Infinity Sports is able to recognize the talent, is able to give that talent a platform to come to go to clubs, to you can say to recruit talents. And Infinity Sports is also doing their job in grassroots and youth development as well. And I feel if Infinity Sports is able to give more and more, it's better and better for football in West Bengal or in India, you can say, as whole.
Lastly, I would like to hear it from Mr. Ranjit Bajaj. Sir. Mr. Ranjit Bajaj, sir. About the Infinity Sports role in youth development and also grassroots and vision. Sir,
So you're on mute.
Yeah, so we are at a very important part in crossroads in our Indian football history, and that doesn't mean just the development. So when the platform comes, that's where people like Infinity Sports, which they are doing such a great job, come through, because they are the ones who are. See, you have obviously you will have agents who will be supporting the guys who've already made it because they know that's a guaranteed run through. The real sports agents or ones who are representing people like you, because you are the ones who are giving them a platform. I would have not come to know so many players if I had not even known from you, because they are off the radar and they are very good. But only see 30 can play in ISL and 50 can play in I League. But India is 1.4 billion, and trust me, the first 500 players in India, the difference is not this much. First top 10, yes, but other than that, not this much. It's only this much. So that's where Infinity Sports comes in, and we hope that you keep continuing this job. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Noor, for being here as well. Thank you, Shelton, and looking forward to coming here and giving out a big try, man. It'll be wonderful to have you, Nixon.
Sure,
It'll be
sir.
great,
I will.
especially
Sure,
knowing
sir.
about your
I will.
dad. I'm a fan of your dad as well, man. So your dad's been a great thing. And thank you so much, Michelle and Karthik, for having me. Infinity Sports for having me. Jai Hind.
thank you, sir.
Jai Hind, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
So
sir.
we have come to the end of show. I'm very grateful to everyone for joining with us today. Lastly, I would like to thank all the guests for giving their precious time in this live debate. We'll get back to you soon. Good night. Thank you.